Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeff. Welcome back to the show. I'm super excited to hang out with you today. And today we're going to be talking about speeding up your learning process so you can shortcut, retain, and master whatever it is you're trying to learn or improve on quicker and better. And whether that's something that you're personally trying to get better at, or maybe that's something that you're trying to get your team to learn faster, or maybe it's something that if you're a mom or a dad, you're trying to get your son or daughter to learn quicker, to learn better, and maybe even be more excited about as they're learning that specific skill, concept, or whatever it is. Now, this is something that I hear a lot of people struggle with, and it sounds or looks something like this. How can I learn this specific skill better? Or how can I get my workers or my students or my kids to grasp this concept quicker and apply it easier, more frequently in their life? Now, with that in mind, I want to start this podcast with a quick story that happened to me recently here. And it's one that I think will make your own learning process easier, or maybe even something that you're trying to teach or coach someone else on. It will make that easier and better for them. And so with that, I want to just start out here by sharing a quick story that really started about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And if you've heard any other podcast episode, maybe not every podcast episode, but I have shared before that my son is in Taekwondo. Now, I also coach his lacrosse team, but in Taekwondo, he's in the upper level belts right now. He's now a brown belt, where actually I should correct that by saying that as of 2 or 3 days ago, on Friday night, he ranked up to an advanced brown belt. And so congratulations again for doing that. It was awesome to see just all the hard work that you went through over the past 15 weeks and ranked up and got that advanced brown belt pattern. And the pattern that he had to learn is called Chung Mu. Now, in order for him to learn this, he had to go through this 15-week, process or cycle of learning this. And he only goes to Taekwondo about 2 times a week because he goes to lacrosse practice twice a week, okay? Now, a lot of the other kids in the brown belt and now advanced brown belt, and were actually in advanced brown belt and then ranked up to the next pattern or next belt, they were going 3 to 4 times a week. And so early on, it was apparent to me as he was learning this brown belt pattern that the moves here were a lot more complex. Now, they incorporate a lot of the same moves that they've already learned and have already applied in the other belts. And so this particular pattern, there's 31 moves, sequences, whatever, that they have to memorize and actually have to do a certain way, very polished, in order to get to that next level, that advanced brown belt pattern. Because as they rank up here in each belt, and I think this is rightly so, the instructors, the senseis, expect those students to do that pattern better, more polished, more refined, with more power. And I think that's fair. I think they should do that. And it's really cool because it helps them learn each pattern better. But as he's learning this pattern, I thought, how can I help him learn it quicker and stay up to speed here with the other students in his class, because he's not going to Taekwondo as much as them. So how can I help him to do that while helping him stay engaged in the learning process and have fun while doing it? How can he enjoy it? So I thought, okay, what can I do differently here? I don't know if I can learn this on my own. I mean, I've kind of watched the app that they have here in the studio so you learn it, but I don't understand that. It's too complicated for me to just watch a video. And I'm not in the class. Now, I'm watching him do it, but how can I have somebody show me this? And this light bulb goes off in my head. I need to ask him if he'd be willing to teach me this pattern. Because as he does that, it's going to help him learn it quicker. It's going to help him to retain the knowledge better. It's going to help him to have fun. And quite, honestly here, in a selfish way, it's going to help me to learn this pattern, because I thought this looks like a cool pattern to learn, and I would love to learn that pattern just because I wanted to learn it, but also to help him see and to reiterate that, hey, I'm engaged with you in Taekwondo. I love that you're learning this, and I want you to continually see that I'm enjoying this and that I'm engaged in the process with you. Because at home, I spar with him. I'll show him some of the moves that he's learned. Even though I don't know all the patterns, I can kind of see when he's doing a movement wrong. Now, I can't do it right or exactly the way he can, but I can at least direct him a little bit and say, hey, what about if you do this? I think that's what you're supposed to do. And he'll be like, oh yeah, Dad, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I thought, I need to have him show me this pattern. And he said, yeah, Dad, I'll show you the pattern. So as he's showing me this pattern here over the past 2 or 3 weeks here, it became apparent to me early on that this was going to backfire on me a little bit. And the reason why is he was showing me the pattern. He's doing a great job coaching me and showing me how to do this. He's hypercritical of every move that I make. If I don't have my hand in a certain way, or my fingers pointing a certain way, or I don't kick as high as him, or I'm not spinning as quick as him, because there is one move that they have to do a 360 spin. You have to jump up and do a 360 spin. And I told him early on, I said, look, son, I'm not going to be able to do that. And I'm not going to be able to kick as high as you because I'm much older. I'm not as flexible. So give me some grace. And, he was giving me a little bit of grace, but he was still being hypercritical. And I said, you got to give me more grace than that. And then he let up and he said, okay, Dad, but you still need to do it this way. So as he was showing me this pattern, he's stepping me through every move, and it was very difficult to learn. I don't know if you're a parent and your son or daughter is in martial arts, or if you're a kid that's listening to this podcast episode, more power to you for learning those martial arts moves, because I learned here rather quickly, these things are difficult to learn. So everybody that's in martial arts, I just want to give you kudos for the hard work, the memorization, the perseverance that goes through in memorizing these patterns. Okay, I digressed here a bit. Let me get back here to this story. So as he's showing me this pattern, what's happening is he is learning it faster. He's actually retaining what he's learning better. And he's enjoying it. He's having fun in this whole process. In fact, this was the crazy thing that was happening. Many times on these belts, I would have to really kind of get on him and say, hey, you really need to practice this pattern today. And it was like pulling teeth at times to get him to practice the pattern. But now, as he's showing me this, almost every day he was saying, Dad, you got to practice your pattern. Dad, we got to practice your pattern. And as he was showing me that, he was more engaged, and he was practicing this pattern. He was sharpening his skill set as he was teaching me. He was turning those decades into days, and what he was trying to learn, it was keeping him at the same level or even above the level of a lot of those students that were in his same class. Because why? Because he was showing me what he was learning. He was having to make sure that he knew exactly what to do so he could show me exactly what to do. And so the whole process was just so enjoyable to be a part of. Number one, to see, one of my kids show me how to do something, but in the same way I was learning it. And at the same instance, he was speeding up his learning process. And so then about 2 or 3 days ago on Friday night, he is now with about 60 or 70 other kids, and he now is having to test up for the higher rank. He's having to test up for this advanced brown belt pattern. And I'm here to tell you that he did it. He passed it with flying colors. It was amazing to see how he didn't forget a single move. Everything was sharp. It was power. It was polished. And I think a lot of that had to do with him showing me, teaching me this particular pattern. Now, in the same way, as he was teaching me this, he was learning how to teach. He was actually learning another skill set, not just the skill set of that pattern, but actually learning how to teach, learning how to coach. And so as you kind of think about that story here, I just want to ask you to think about this in your own life, that whatever it is you're struggling with right now, maybe it's something you're having to learn in your job. Maybe you're having to learn a new skill set at school. Maybe you're having to learn a new instrument. Whatever that is right now, and you feel like you're struggling with it, and you're just at a point where you're maybe a little frustrated, and you feel like, okay, I understand what I'm supposed to do, but I really would love to retain this better. And if you're at that point, I would just encourage you to think about teaching this to somebody else. Maybe it's for 30 minutes. Maybe it's an hour. Maybe it's like my son did, over 2 to 3 weeks. And what I think you're going to find is, as you teach that to somebody else, it's going to speed up your entire learning process. And it's going to make that entire learning much easier for yourself and for somebody else. And hey, if you're a parent and your son or daughter is struggling to learn something, I would encourage you to do the same thing. Have them teach you what it is that they're trying to learn. And then I would also give you a word of caution here and just advise you to be engaged, be an active listener. If somebody's trying to teach you something, but you don't want to have your phone on, you want to be distracted, turn your phone off, put it on airplane mode. Make sure that they know that you're there engaged, ready to listen and learn what it is that they're going to teach you. And I think what you'll find is their learning process is going to exponentialize even faster, even greater. And so with that, I hope this podcast is going to help you to speed up your learning process, and it's going to help you to maximize whatever it is that you're trying to learn. With all that said, I want to give you a quick heads up about my own course page at jeffjerina.com. Now, when you visit the courses page at jeffjerina.com/courses, you're going to see a list of personal development, faith-driven, and professional development courses that I've created over the years. And these courses are going to help you go the next level in your own life. And just so you'll know, some of those courses, I'm going to list them out here, include Faith Without Fear, Power on Purpose, Shortcut to Scripture Memory, Leadership Success Formula, Sharing Your Testimony Made Easy. I also have a course called Christmas Lights for Profit, which is a course that will teach you how to start and run a successful Christmas lighting business, which is great if you're a business owner, maybe you're looking to start your own business, or maybe a new side hustle to earn some extra income this year. That course is for you. And I also have 2 new ones that you can pre-register for right now. They're called the Volunteer Blueprint and Magnetic Messaging. And I hope that you're going to check that out, because who knows, you may find a course there that will help you in your own personal or spiritual growth, maybe in leadership and team development, or maybe in business and entrepreneurship. And to make sure that you don't miss an episode, or maybe a quick tip that I share here, or maybe a free webinar that I'm hosting, or some other resource or training that I have, make sure you go to subscribe to the Ignite newsletter at jeffjerina.com/newsletter. That way, when you do that, you're not going to miss a thing. And please, if you like today's show, it would really help if you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform and share it with someone else, and take a screenshot on your phone and post it on social and tag me and let me know you liked it. I would really appreciate that. And hey, if you have something that you want me to talk about on this podcast, please hit me up on my contact page at jeffjerina.com. Thanks again. God bless. I'll see you on the next episode.